Hey, let's recap Person of Interest, Season 4, Episode 7, entitled Honor Among Thieves. This was a great team episode because we got all members of Team Machine working on two different assignments. So one of them was their number, and the other one was the job of keeping Samaritan at bay and preventing it from expanding into all the projects that it's working on right now. So one of them was this software guy who was coming up with this company called OTPS, and Samaritan wanted it endorsed. So it had the new governor that it appointed fund it like $12 million, and so whatever the heck Samaritan wanted it for, Harold and Root were going to stop it. And so Root was spying as a French nanny, and she was able to weave her way into this guy's life and able to find out that his company was funding a charity thing called One Tablet Per Student, which was basically a company that was going to produce a whole bunch of tablets for educational purposes that they were going to give to every student in New York. So this was actually a good project and a good charity to fund, but it was going to be used for Samaritan's Evil to spy on every child in every family and every household in New York. So naturally, Harold and Root had to stop it by sneaking in, disabling the cameras that the government installed, which was obviously Samaritan's orders. And so Harold had to do his thing dressed as a janitor and make all of the 3D printers explode. And make a big fire, and so the entire $11.2 million were flushed down the tubes, and unfortunately that left Harold with a bit of a moral conundrum because he said, well, Samaritan, what it's going to use for is wrong, but, this was a good charity, and so how many wrongs are we going to have to do for right? So the other thing that they were doing this episode was working their new number. So this was an irrelevant number named Thomas, who was a wine collector or distributor, but he was actually a thief, which fits in right in with Shaw's secret identity, because she has been working as the wheel guy for a criminal ring, and so she used her criminal contacts to get into Thomas's newest scheme. So they had to get rid of the other girl first, and so they brought in Fusco, who used Bear, who is not actually a dog trained to sniff out drugs, but he definitely barked at this woman, and with Fusco's badge, they played a thing of her getting busted for drugs, which is really pretty cool. So then Tomas had an opening for his crime team, and Shaw was in, because they were both like totally seductively, showing off their master criminals skills, and Root was actually like, egging her on, like, oh yeah, he's cute, but you would never fall for a line like that, and she was actually getting pretty into it. She was like really like getting into this guy and how he looked and how he was such a professional hit guy and how he knew exactly how to pull off these elaborate schemes. He's pulled off thefts, nationally and internationally, so, he knows what he's doing. He's a professional guy. So the other three members of the team, unfortunately, were persuaded monetarily to betray Tomas and take these big box of vile virus, like a MARV, which is like Ebola times 2. What they were going to do is get them to a client, and that client was going to expose them and have the virus run rampant throughout New York. Now we find out later that this client is actually one of Tomas's old team members that got captured and sent to jail. He faked his death, and so now he's trying to get revenge. So Shaw and Tomas have to get the virus before Marco uses it. However, now that the virus is in the hands of a criminal and is going to be exposed, unfortunately the Relevant agents are in on it. So now that it's not just a thing of the guys killing Tomas, it's a thing of the virus is going to kill a whole bunch of people. It's now a relevant problem, which means the government, who was being issued orders by Samaritan, is just their orders are to kill everyone involved. So before, when it was the machine giving the relevant orders, it was like, oh, they had to go investigate whatever was happening. This is what Shaw was doing originally, and that's why she knows what's going on. But now that it's Samaritan, the orders are just do this, do that. No investigation needed because Samaritan thinks for you. Really scary stuff. But it's actually Shaw's trainee who lets her go because he understands that whatever she's doing is good because he knows her. So John and Fusco are able to get in there and start shooting and cause a distraction for the relevant agents, while Shaw and Tomas were fighting off Marco and his guys in order to stop the virus from getting spread because he was ready to put the needle into Tomas for revenge. So good news, everybody's safe. Tomas is heading to Barcelona to keep doing crimes. However, Samaritan, unfortunately, is starting to recover the deleted files that Shaw's trainee tried to delete, and so it's working on getting Shaw's image, which is obviously part of this Samaritan's new mission to find the machine. And so they're going to start tracking down the team, and this is the first step. At the end, Shaw's kind of reminiscing on Tomas leaving and how, everything's going crazy here, but she has her little job and she has her life, even though it's a crazy one, and it's in this little bubble. And obviously that includes Root, and she needs Root's help to translate all of Harold's instructions on how to decontaminate the virus, and so they are going to be working late at night. So the Root and Shaw relationship is kind of being pushed in this episode, which is, really cool. Every single person on the team was using their skills in order to get great things done and able to help out each other. This was a really great episode. It was really a team effort, and